Freezy. I'm joined by the man that is so smooth he does not require a chaser. It is still the real AD in the building. You are watching Old School Knicks. Anthony D, sir, how are you to date?
I'm doing pretty well, but good morning, Nick Nation. Thank you again for joining us on this Sunday. Sorry about last week. We had a
Yeah, man.
hiccup.
Hiccups, man. Hiccups
Freezy,
that they
Freezy,
happen.
had, Freezy had a migraine. He couldn't come on. He was
Yeah,
on this.
man.
He was on this diva thing last week.
Yeah,
It was
yeah. I
like,
couldn't.
yo,
I can't help it. You know
it's
what I'm
like, yo,
saying?
it's like y'all Eddie Kane Jr. out this.
Yeah, the waters were not 34 degrees, so I
Mm,
had a tantrum.
boom. Bang bang.
That's just how things work.
Hey, that's how it goes. That's what happens when we on Blue Orange Tears, baby. We getting
Bim,
bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying? They
bigger
can't
and
see
bigger
us
and bigger.
right now. We Fazo. We riding high. We up in the
Riding
clouds.
high, riding high.
Well, good morning.
So,
You know we always gonna announce it.
good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good mornings, everybody. So, I'm just gonna go straight for the jugular off rip. It's
Oh
Sunday.
Jesus.
Anthony D, there is a pathway for our New York Knicks to be the 2024 NBA champs. There is a pathway. There is a pathway for our New York Knicks to be the 2024 NBA champs. And what I expect from most Knicks fans is to be haters off rip as soon as they hear it, like, oh man, what you doing? Yeah, you always talking about. And then once we get into the process, I expect them to do like they normally do and say, I told you, Uncle Freezy, there was a pathway that we can. Because last year at this time, I was like, yo, there's a pathway for this team to win 50 games. And this team might be able to make the Eastern Conference Finals. And last year at this time, I'm talking about on the calendar, right? Middle of July, last year, with or without Donovan Mitchell, I said we could be in the Eastern Conference Finals. And people laughed at me and were predicting that Jalen Brunson was going to average about 16 points and 5 assists, and that the Knicks might be lucky to make the first round. People were saying that this team is probably a 41-win team, right? This is what they were saying last year, and I'm quoting them, right? They're like, yeah, no, man, Jalen Brunson's all right, man, but we should have got Spider. We need a star. And man, I don't know why we didn't keep that young boy out of Memphis. We could have kept him and he could have played center. And I don't know, man, who this Hartenstein kid is. Hartenstein, he looked like a robot, all of that stuff. Those are the conversations last year. Right? But as Knicks fans, we quickly forget everything. Right? And so what I'm saying to you is this summer, before everybody starts loading up on the bandwagon saying, Uncle Freezy, I told you we was going to be champs. I'm calling it early because I called the Eastern Conference Finals. I said I was on a panel with Queen B. I was like, Queen B, listen, this team just might win 50 games. And this team just might make the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not afraid. I don't think this team should be afraid of Milwaukee. That's the team I called out. I called them out all season, and y'all heard me call them out all season. Right? And I was like, I don't know if I'm afraid of Milwaukee. I'm not afraid of Boston. I called them out the entire time. Right? And my thing is this team with the roster as is, with Hart and DiVincenzo coming off the bench, with Hartenstein and Quickly, I think it might be a pretty good role-playing bunch. My only question is, what do you do with Evan Fournier's salary? And which Julius Randle are you going to get? Now, in order for this Knicks team to win an NBA championship, I understand that there are some things that this team needs. But if we understand what the team's needs are and allow guys to play to those areas, I think we can become champs. And the first thing is, as you see on the screen right now, is if we allow Jalen Brunson just to be a scoring guard, just a scoring guard, I think Jalen Brunson makes an all-star team, and he might be a candidate for NBA's most improved player.
Curtis Blow once made a record called Daydreaming.
Right.
Takes me where I want to be.
Right.
Rolls Royce made a record called I'm Wishing on a Star.
Right.
Right? Follow where you are. You, sir, are a dreamer. Okay? I don't have time for dreamers. Okay? That pathway right there with the team presently constituted, it is not a championship team. Okay? Mm-hmm. I don't have time for daydreaming. I need concrete evidence. I don't want to wish on a star and then you want to come back next year and say, hey, AD, I told you. I can't do that because there's too many factors there to go right in order for this pathway that you're talking about.
Oh, you don't even know the pathway yet. I ain't even told you the pathway.
I thought that's why you stopped. My bad. Continue on your pathway.
No. I know. I stated the goal. I didn't state how to get there yet.
Oh, so you're gonna conjure up some more players to add to this mix and to take away?
No, I'm not answering questions on that. I just want to state my.
You're just daydreaming.
No, I'm not daydreaming.
Okay, well, continue. I'm listening to the.
No, go ahead, bro. What you got?
Because I don't understand that, Uncle Freezy. I really don't. They haven't. Dante. God, I said I wasn't gonna call this man's name on again. The recent acquisition of their only free agent acquisition of the summer so far is not that, ladies and gentlemen, for what Freezy is going on with, and for Brunson to become just a scorer. What is he, Isaiah Thomas? What is he? And no disrespect to Isaiah Thomas from Boston. What is Brunson supposed to be, a sideshow? No. We need more. We need something else. And I'm not a part of Freezy and the daydreaming. I don't know what that is, because all we have out there in the wind is nothing more than, pharaohs and fallacies. You understand? Coming up with crazy stories all day long. I heard something with Begley the other day and said, well, the Knicks could have had Towns. And he muffled and buffled through his explanation. And then the very end is like, really? So if you could have had Karl Anthony Towns for Mitchell plus whatever, you wouldn't do that? Like, seriously? Why would I believe that? So my thing, again, show me. I need them. I need every step of the way. I'm not believing nothing until I see it.
Nope. We ain't
I'm
showing nothing.
I'm not believing nothing until I see it.
We ain't showing nothing.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do this to the Knicks fans. I'm not going to do this to the Knicks fans. We deserve better than that.
Because the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. No, because the thing is with this is simple. The thing is with this is simple. The Knicks have a pathway to be the 2024 champs, and you, sir, are going to accept it and like it. right? And the reason being is because over the years of your NBA watching, you've seen over the course of years where teams that are in the Knicks position,
What is this, a mob
right?
movie? Yeah,
Nah,
you're
nah,
giving me
it's
a choice I can't refuse.
no,
That's
no,
what's going
no.
on here.
Well, basically, no, it's one choice, right? And you either choose to accept that one or don't make the choice at all.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is with the Knicks are in a situation where, like many other teams that have done it, they are in a situation where the field is breaking right for them to take advantage of a wide open field. And we've seen it with the Detroit Pistons. We've seen it with the Toronto Raptors. We saw it with the Milwaukee Bucks. Man, we've even seen in the 80s, we saw the Houston Rockets do it twice, right? The field is something happens to other teams, and then there's a pathway, and the Houston Rockets are like, I don't know how we got to the championship, but we like it. Things like this occur, right? The team with the
they
team,
occur when you have Hakeem Olajuwon.
Right. But they also made the finals before Akeem Olajuwon too.
When you have Moses Malone.
Right.
But continue.
And who else was on that Houston Rockets team?
I don't care. Let me do Uncle Freezy.
You don't remember? Yeah, that's my point.
Let me do Uncle Freezy. I don't care.
Right.
You got Hakeem Olajuwon. You got Moses Malone. You don't get to a finals once in their career, you should be blackballed forever from working in the NBA.
And so the point that I'm getting at is this. Ultimately, the point that I'm getting at is the Knicks have everything in-house to be that team that when the Bucks melt down because of their age and the Celtics melt down because their young coach is inexperienced, and the Philadelphia 76ers melt down because they are the Philadelphia 76ers. That leaves two teams to take advantage of that in the Eastern Conference. That is the Cleveland Cavaliers, who has weaponized their roster, their free agency, to make a serious run because they accept it. And then there are the Knicks. And then if you ask most Knicks fans in a head-to-head with the Cleveland Cavaliers, which team would you pick? And I do believe most teams would say they take the Knicks today over Cleveland.
Because of what happened last year. It's solely based on what happened last year. You see? And this is a part of the problem, Freezy. Your frame and where you're going with this fit last year.
Right.
Right? Because we talked about it. Look, injuries, right? And what happened? We saw our coach get outcoached in Miami.
Right, except it don't fit last year.
It does fit last year because this year, if you're saying that all of what can happen and everything can break right and this team, whatever, all of that was last year as well. My point is to you is what's going to be the difference? What's going to be the difference of them faltering last year when the same things were happening and for what you're saying can happen this year? What's going to be the difference?
Right. So I'm not going to explain that. I'm going to talk about the same thing that I just said, though. I just said 4 minutes ago that Boston has a young head coach, an experienced head coach. I just said that, bro. I legit just said that. And I just said Philadelphia is always going to be Philadelphia because they're Philadelphia. And I just said that Milwaukee is not the same team because they're older. I just said that. Right? And then I just said the two teams that can take advantage of that are the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Knicks. And I said that in that order specifically.
Okay. And this was the same scenario last year.
Right.
So what's going to be the difference?
Wait a minute. Wait, what?
What's going to be the difference this year?
Wait a
How are
minute.
we going to take advantage
Am I
of the
talking
same?
in a canyon?
How are we going to take advantage of the same problem? It's like someone going to take the GED test and they failed it 5 times and they know why they failed it, right?
Right.
What's going to be the difference in the 6th time? Okay, what's going to be? It's the same scenario last year. That's
So
what,
you
all I'm
failed
trying to
it.
get
So
across.
I'm lost. So you
But
failed
what have
it.
they done? What have
You
they
failed it. So
done
you should.
this
If you
year to
failed
be
it 5
champions?
times, so you should stop taking it.
No, you shouldn't. But how have you prepared? What are you going to do differently on the test? Okay, how did you improve your math, your social studies, your ELA as they call it these days, and stuff like that? Right? Not to get all technical with it. Right?
Right.
How are you going to improve yourself to be better this year? Dante DiVincenzo is not it.
Okay.
Sorry, but you were on the path again.
Right. I feel as if I'm speaking in a canyon.
I'm
I'm in a canyon by myself, screaming to the top of my lungs.
You ever been to the Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
There.
That canyon. Now I've been to the top of it. Nobody goes down in the valley. Nobody go down by the Colorado River.
There are people that do, and they're never seen again.
Yeah. Right. But the point that I'm getting at is the Knicks have a pathway to be the 2024 NBA champs, and the corrections that are needed to be made to the roster, you don't have to go get them from outside of the building. Basically, what the Knicks need to do is embrace certain things. Right? For one, the development of Quentin Grimes needs to be directed, right? Not to organically get improve in every area, and we'll see what happens in 5 years type improvement. But in my mind, we need to turn Quentin Grimes into a Doug Christie type player, right? Where his sole job is 2 things: defend at a high level and shoot the 3 at a high level, right? That's it. I don't care nothing about your handles or how high you can jump and all that stuff. At this stage, if the Knicks are looking to be the 2024 NBA champs, everybody needs to start having more defined roles, including the guy on the screen, Julius Randle. Instead of taking 8 threes a game at 34%, Julius Randle needs his behind on the boards and in the paint, defending the paint. I'm sorry. Right? It's one of those deals where we can't have Randle not closing out on shots. It's one of them deals where we can't have Randle not hustling 100% of the time. A tone has to be set. Julius Randle's goal this season, instead of averaging 25 and 10, should be he's averaging 21 and 12. Right? Mitchell Robinson, our guy on the screen, Mitchell Robinson, we can't have, and I understand that Mitchell Robinson is a box out machine. Right? The reason why Randle and Hart and all those guys can rebound at such a high level is because Mitchell Robinson, after he missed all those games, Mitch missed like 20 plus games, he still led the NBA in box outs. And what that means for the average NBA fan, your average NBA fan is telling me, "Oh man, Josh Hart can rebound, brother. Josh Hart can get Randle can rebound too." And part of their success with the Knicks, because they rebounded in other places too, but with the Knicks, a lot of that goes to your man on the screen, right? But what we need Mitch to do going forward, right, is be some type of offensive threat. Some type. I'm not saying shoot threes. What I am saying is hit your free throws. Mitch, can you hit your free throws at about 65%? If Mitch can hit free throws at about 65%, shoot 68% from the floor. Now we're talking about teams have to pay attention to him when he catches the ball down low. The answer to all these things, the answer to all these things are simple. Have defined roles. That's it. That's it. Have more defined roles. Because if I was to ask a Knicks fan what RJ Barrett brings to the table, guess what they're going to tell me? RJ go to the rim, but he can't finish. He can't shoot. He bad on defense. What I'm saying is, okay, it's enough of that. This is 4 years of RJ trying to be something that he not. How about turn him into something that he is? Take the talents that he has, that he's shown you these 4 years, and build on that. Stop trying to make him Jimmy Butler. No, it's too late. Right? No, we don't want him to be Jimmy. Right? We want him to be the best version of RJ. Knicks fans, is that too much to ask?
Why are you doing this to the people, Freezy?
Because this is what the people need, bro. Because the thing about it is
on a Sunday. Why are you doing this to the people?
Right.
What happened between Friday and today?
The thing is, I've been listening to. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I've been listening to Knicks fans.
This is like a hard sermon right now.
I've been listening to Knicks YouTubers pissing their pants and crying moan all summer. I'm so frustrated, bro. I quit like 3 times. I didn't tell y'all that. But I quit. I took the stuff off my computer. I wasn't gonna do this shit no more.
All right, so this is a
you know what I'm saying?
All right, so we're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere.
No, this is a Knicks universe thing. It's not me.
Okay, because I thought it was a cry. I thought it was a cry for help for a minute ago.
It ain't. You were like, I'm good.
You were like,
I'm good, bro.
Giving us the medicine, taking it back. Giving us the medicine, taking it back.
The Knicks fans have a condition. Right? They have a condition.
Okay.
Like any bright spot, any bright spot offered to a Knicks fan, they're gonna turn it down because it's easier to be the other way. It's just easier that way. Right? If you say, hey man, listen, all Quentin Grimes has to do is beat Doug Christie, a Knicks fan is gonna say, no, we need to trade for Devin Booker. And then when I ask you, what are we gonna trade for Booker? You know what they're going to say? Quentin Grimes. If you don't like Grimes, what makes you think the Phoenix Suns is going to like Grimes? Stop being ridiculous. Right? Like, for instance, when I say, hey, you know what? Let's just redefine RJ Barrett's role and just have RJ focus on all the things he's good at. And the Knicks fans going to be like, RJ is trash. Okay, well, what's the answer? Go get Brandon Ingram. Okay, well, what you going to offer for Brandon Ingram? We're going to offer him RJ. Wait, hold on. You just said he trash. And then you think another team is going to give you their best player for your trash. What type of universe do we live in where things like this exist? These things don't exist. The Knicks can be the 2024 NBA champs if we take small steps, right? You don't have to have one person taking 10,000 steps. You can have 5 people taking 2,000 steps. You still get there. That's the point that I'm getting at.
This sounds like it's a you against the fans thing. Because like you said, you done quit 3 times. You done quit 3 times already, you know.
Yeah, bro, I didn't do a show. I went a whole week AD without doing a show.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because I'm tired of hearing the same crying and moaning.
But what's
all the
wrong
time.
with that? What's wrong with that? Why do we have to be tapped into Nick Universe 24/7?
No, me? I don't have to be.
No, we in the collective of Nick Universe. Why do
because
we
they love it.
in 20?
Because we love the Knicks, bro. It's why 50-something people are here this morning on a Sunday.
But this is why we'll get what we get, a sermon from Uncle Freezy. We'll get like we literally abandoned the old school Knicks to get a sermon here this morning. You do realize that, right?
No.
Because you're unhappy with Nick Universe.
No.
You are unhappy with Nick Universe.
And let me ask you this. Is Doug Christie a current player? No. Was Doug Christie once a Knick? Yes.
You know what? When you say players like Doug Christie, understand something for you, right? I remember Doug Christie with Sacramento when they choked with the Lakers.
Well, yeah, when the referees called 40 foul calls in the fourth quarter. Yeah, the referees called. You could say what you.
It was Bibby alone. It was Bibby. No. It was like that's a perfect correlation with Brunson and Bibby. If you remember that Game 7, Sacramento against the Lakers, right? No one on Sacramento was doing anything besides Bibby. I think Bibby at one point hit like 7 or 8 shots in a row, like Brunson against Miami.
Right.
Weber,
except
Chris Weber was on that team.
You forget that the referees called 27 fouls in the last 10 minutes. There are documentaries on YouTube that highlight that. 27 fouls in the last 10 minutes of a game. And you just said Sacramento choke.
Freezy, why? That's Freezy. Did you what? You need to go back and watch Weber in that final game. You need to go back and watch Weber in that final game. Seriously. Just like Randall against the Heat. We are here. You are here this morning with Doug Christie. Who's Doug Christie? I want better for my young guy. I don't want my guy. He had a Doug Christie like performance.
Wait, which one do you want? Do you want a championship or do you want better for your young guy?
If my young guy is better, it's gonna get me a championship.
No,
it's gonna get me a championship.
That's not guaranteed.
Yeah,
you had young guys before, and you don't have chips.
We had the wrong young guys.
Right. But you just said it in general. If
my young guy is better, it's gonna get me a championship. Right. To your point, what young guy we had since Ewing that could get us a championship?
Ewing is the GOAT too, by the way.
Go with you this morning. What's the sermon part 2? We're gonna go into the GOAT. Goat Nick.
He's the greatest to me.
Greatest what?
Center of all time.
Yeah, we know. Yes, you gave us that sermon 2 weeks ago already. We packed it away. And one of those Bible pages that we rip out and we don't never look at it again. No,
and smoke weed in it.
You gave us that already. You gave us that. We done lit a chalice with that already. We don't did what we did with that, Uncle Freezy. But some of these all right. He's not as good as Kyle Lowry because Kyle Lowry is a point guard.
I never said that.
But I'm giving my opinion. I'm looking at this right here, and you put Kyle Lowry as aspire to be Kyle Lowry.
He should aspire to be more of a player like this. Yes.
That's not his skills. That's not his strong suit.
Why? Because they don't look like the same type player?
He is not. No, he is not. He is not a setter-upper.
Okay.
He is not a setter-upper. He's not a natural setter-upper.
Right. For who?
For the team. He is better. Quickly is better when he's doing that step back and, and he's getting that one off when he's quicker than everyone else to his name. But
how has that worked out so far?
It hadn't. But that's who he is.
Right.
That's the kind of style he is. And you're about to, as I said, these whatever are reporting that they're going to give him $100 million. You're going to give another $100 million guy off the bench.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Right. You got like 7 guards on your bench right now. Why are you doing this to the people? Again, part 2. Why are you really doing this to the people here? Freezing.
Right. Well, the thing is when we have these general conversations, the easy thing for most Knicks fans to do is piss in their clothes. When Uncle Freezy, when, and I'm not, and listen, and most of the people are on my side.
You're
like I feel like most Knicks fans are wanting this team to be better than what they are and see potential in the guys that we already have, that they can be better than what they already are. The thing is as Knicks fans, some Knicks fans, I think AD is included, you're stuck in this present and this ever thing of the right now.
Freezy.
Right? But the right now is always going to be okay.
Freezy, right. Let me ask you a question. Do you need to watch your favorite movie every time to know the ending?
No.
And that's what this Knicks team is. That's what this Knicks team is.
No, man.
You could watch this same Knicks. You could watch this Knicks team right here, and I'm telling you right now, they're not good enough presently constituted to get out the way. Even with a couple of breaks here and there, they're not good enough.
Nah, this team. When I watched the Denver Nuggets play, bro,
they're not good. Oh dear God. You're not about to commit blasphemy. You're not about to commit blasphemy.
I think the Knicks right now, with the addition of Dante DiVincenzo, is a top 4 team in the NBA. That's my opinion on it.
I'd say top 8.
Right.
I'd say top 8. In the entire NBA, I'd say top 8.
Right. That's easy because they were a second round team. What? I mean, that's like
right.
That's like the air is clear in here.
You haven't gotten past that. You haven't done anything. You haven't done anything to get top 4. Right. You see, you have Mitch Robinson on there with DeAndre Jordan. The last time I remembered what Gian, I don't remember DeAndre Jordan really being anything big when it mattered, besides being an extremely athletic, put you on a poster freak of a center.
Right. See, but the thing about that though is you don't need DeAndre Jordan to be Wilt Chamberlain. You don't need Mitch to be Wilt Chamberlain. You just need these guys.
Mitch has no offense, Freezy. If you're the coach on the opposite side, how would you defend him?
So what I'm saying to you,
I asked you a question. How would you defend him?
I'm not answering that. Why would I? What's the point? I'm trying to get to a point because you already have an answer. You should just go ahead and state your answer. Instead of asking me for mine, just state yours.
Crazy. He's horrible offensively. Freezy.
Okay.
Good and terrible.
Okay.
If he's not 5 feet and in, he never looks to the rim.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about him outside of him going to the offensive glass, right?
These are the things I stated earlier. I already stated that.
So how are you going to presently?
But you asked me the question. You asked me the question again.
But I'm reiterating your point into another point as it presently because this is your sermon. So I'm here riding with your sermon. So presently constituted, you're having this same Mitch who's never averaged 30 minutes a game, mind you. I want to remind people that during the regular season, okay? The same 8.9, 8.3, whatever. There's no like traumatic growth over these 5 years. He's going to be the same person that's going to be the part of something that's going to win you a championship. Again, you're daydreaming.
I meant to change that. The Kyle Lowry thing. I didn't mean to have Kyle Lowry up here. I had another player in mind.
Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, Jay from PR. Thank you for pointing that out, man. I didn't mean for RJ Barrett's thing to say Kyle Lowry.
Oh my God.
I had another dude in mind.
Sunday. It's horrible of you, Freezy.
Yeah, man.
I don't see it. Kevin Johnson, he's better than Kevin Johnson.
Right.
And I was a Kevin Johnson fan.
Yeah, Kevin Johnson was good, bro.
Even when Doc Rivers had to chase him down and two-piece him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Greg jumped off the bench. Yo, Greg was a maniac, though, for real. Yeah. But this is a part of when I was saying to you yesterday that it takes a family, right? Because look at that team. Greg, I think, was hurt or suspended or something like that. And this is what, the 93 team. And he's on the bench in his, I don't even understand what that shirt was, Versace, Qualifafi, whatever it was.
Whatever it was.
But he's in tune to the game, right? And his man or the team is now about to scrap. Greg comes running off the bench and clobbers whoever he clobbered, right? Pat Riley has to guide him off there. Okay? But some people look at it like, yo, he's thug, No, that's the family.
Right.
When you're moving to a championship, I remember that at some point in that year, they lost the only time with the Knicks and Pat Riley, they lost 4 games in a row. Right? Riley, whatever they did, I think they didn't go to Vegas, but they went some team building, whatever. And, those who can't make it, get away with your family, whatever, because he had never lost 4 games in a row. And, it's a little topsy-turvy, and he had to get them back on the same page together to keep the family. That's the only way you're going to win. And when you have good enough pieces in the family, you understand? That's going to get you there. Yeah, you don't know, but you know why? You haven't seen the championship in 50 years.
Right.
That's why you don't know.
See, that's where you're incorrect, sir. I have not seen a Knicks championship in 50 years. But the NBA does continue to play basketball.
Which is more important.
Right?
Which is more important to you?
No, the thing is if you ask me if I've ever seen a championship, yeah, I see them every year. Right? Just don't see the Knicks winning them.
That was so sad, Freezy. That was so sad. You don't give a damn. You don't give a damn about the rest of the NBA and their finals. I bet you didn't watch more than 2 quarters.
But championships occur. They happen every year.
As far as I'm concerned, they don't happen because you know why? The Knicks ain't winning them. I could care less. As a fan of the sport, yeah. Did I tune in? Did I watch the greatness of Joker? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, the Knicks ain't win.
All right. Jay Boogie, thank you for the generous contribution. Jay Boogie, the hip-hop legend, says, it is a disgrace to basketball for Jalen Brown to have the highest paid contract in the history of the NBA, the first $300 million player.
No, Jay Boogie, I don't understand that. I don't like that take because I'm a player before anything else for players' rights. You understand? And that man is worth what he negotiated.
Yeah.
So if they're willing to give him $300 million, guess how much there's really there?
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. So whether he was the first or whatever, that doesn't really matter. Jalen is he's no scrub. You know what I mean? They've been that Boston team. since the Kyrie debacle, right? And with Kyrie, they've done nothing but keep going to the Eastern Conference Finals and have made a finals appearance. So put some respect on Jalen Brown's name, because he's been a pivotal part of that. And that's no diss to you, Boogie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, this is no Boogie thing, right? I'm just saying as a player. When I hear people talk
like
about him.
You just don't like Queens, man. I like Man, I love Queens, New York, man.
Queens get the money. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Queens get the money. What are you talking about?
Queens get the money.
Queens get the money, baby. Stop it.
Right.
Get that 300 million. Shout out to Jalen. Just don't trick it all out. Don't be like Zion out here.
Yeah, and to me, the difference between a dude that's already getting 278 and a dude getting 300, that don't mean nothing to me, bro. I'm an everyday cat. You know what I'm saying? $22 million don't really mean nothing to me because I don't have it.
How do you go to work the next day?
Yeah.
You signed a check, like literally. I'm gonna hit it like Harlem Nights. Put your mother on the phone. Yo, I ain't never coming back.
Hey, Susie. Hey, you never come home.
You never coming home. Click.
Yeah.
Like, Freezy, life has changed forever and ever.
Right. That's every day, though. That's every day, though.
How do you go to work the next day?
Because in about 4 years, somebody's going to make $400 million, and we're going to be having the same conversation.
Like, you really need, a lot of motivation. How do you not become, what was my man from LSU that the Raiders drafted, the quarterback?
Oh, Russell.
Yes. That man got that 30 mil guaranteed, checked out.
and ate fat back and drunk Pepsi.
Yep, I'm good.
That's
good. I am absolutely good. And people will down players like that got the bag, and all of a sudden they lost the motivation and so forth and so forth. But and I want to touch on this for a second. They don't understand what it is to build yourself up from Pee-wee League all the way up high school, college. You got coaches yelling in your face, assistant coaches yelling in your face. You can't eat this, you can't eat that. It's a consistent, whatever. Teachers are not really looking out for you. They're just passing you just because you're the big jock that's going to help the team win and so forth. And at some point in time, you're working for a certain thing. And really and truly, for most of these players, they're really working to take their mamas and their families from where they at. So when they get that contract, you know what? We've made it. This is it. I can now retire. I'm good. The narrative then becomes from the media and so forth. They're fat, they're lazy, they're this and that. They don't take a look at what they did the past 10, 12 years to get here.
Okay.
The average lifespan in the NFL is 3 years.
Right.
It's been that way from the beginning. It is that way till now. I never look down on cats that, that whatever bag you got, especially like I said, it was a career to get the bag.
Okay.
To get that kind of bread. So, salute to those gentlemen, Jalen and so forth. And, I want to hear the next one coming down the pike that gets that bigger bag.
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. I've said it before on these airwaves. I would rip up his contract right after Game 6.
Right.
I'd give him a new deal. I would have did what, remember Charlotte did that with Larry Johnson. Then he hurt his back.
That was unfortunate.
But you would have did that too.
Right. There was nothing he did wrong either. Right. He didn't do it in a nightclub fight. He didn't trip and fall down those stairs.
He wasn't Amari Stoudemire doing trick dunks on the free throw line in the playoff game.
Yep, he was at a NBA event in Washington D.C. and he dunked for the kids and came down. And when he landed, he knew something was going on with his back. And instead of getting checked, he just thought it was like a aching pain being an old man, and it wound up being an injury.
And he's 20, what,
What, 26?
No, I think he was like 23, 24. Because he comes into
He came in the league at 21. Then he played his all-star years in Charlotte, like 92, 93, 94, 95.
Right.
So he had to be around 26.
Because we knocked them out a couple of times.
Right.
Those Charlotte teams in the playoffs, we knocked them out. We had some nice little battles with them.
Right.
But we knocked them out. But he was people don't remember how good he was, grandmama.
Yep. And the odd thing is, if he had that injury right now, he'd be back on the court and be himself. And just show you the advancing technology just 25 or 30 years later, how much technology is. He would have been probably even bouncier after the surgery. But AD, my Knicks winning the championship in 2024, bro. Right? So my Knicks winning the championship in 2024, what I'm saying to you is the Knicks don't have to go out and get Giannis. All they have to do is everybody embrace a certain role, and they can do it. Ultimately the underlying thing that I'm trying to get to, and I think that the 2024 NBA champ thing might have thrown you a little bit, is you can't do these two things at the same time. You can't chase a chip and develop young talent at the same time. You just can't do it. The reason why Golden State may have taken a misstep is because they were trying to rebuild, like restock and chase a chip at the same time, as opposed to just bringing in talent for Steph Curry's last few years. And I know they won the championship the year before last, but that was without those kids, and they had a bunch of veterans. But when they started incorporating them kids last year, they realized you can't win a chip. And if you notice, James Wiseman is gone. Jordan Poole is gone. You can't just go out and say, hey, we're going to take two paths to get to the same place. It's impossible. Take one path. And if you're the Knicks and you want to be the 2024 NBA champs, you got to stop trying to develop these cats. Not stop trying to get better. But what I'm saying is letting cats play through mistakes and learn on the fly. You got to cut out all of that stuff. Because last year, yesterday, what I did preparing for this, right? I went back and looked through the Knicks game, the close games that we lost. Bruh. You remember the Memphis game? The first game last year?
Yeah, but Freezy, you can't. Okay. Then you're going to tell me you can't play Josh Hart 35 minutes. Because if you're not playing the young player, then you're playing Josh Hart. See what I'm saying?
No, if you're
if you're not playing if you're not developing the Grimes, then who are you playing?
Veterans.
Okay, then you're playing Josh Hart.
So?
It's veteran.
So what? I don't understand what you're getting at.
He's not good enough in a long period of time. He's shown you that.
But you don't have to play Josh Hart 35 minutes.
Tell that to Tibbs. You tell that to Tibbs. When Tibbs got a chance to really let Josh Hart loose, he did that. He overexposed him at times.
Right.
By playing him too many times in places where not good enough.
Right.
And that's kind of like what you have here. You know, good enough second round. Okay. I don't see where you're good enough past it. Randall is going to be in his 11th season, Uncle Freezy.
So?
Where's this old dog supposed to learn new tricks?
No, Man, listen, the skill set has always been there.
Until the biggest moments.
No. Listen, the skill set for Randall has always been there. Bully type scorer, unselfish passer, high volume rebounder, right? Where Randall gets stretched thin and when he becomes efficient is when you now force him to become a 3-point shooter and a lockdown defender. So instead of doing the 3 things he does well, now you're asking him to do 5 things, and when he doesn't do one of them, we kill him in the media for 2 weeks. Right? My thing is with Jalen Brunson, as opposed to saying Jalen Brunson needs to be a facilitator and scorer, no, he don't. Let Jalen Brunson be a scorer, right? Bring in another guy, bring somebody in with the team, help with the facilitation, right? Because Brunson doesn't need to be a full-time facilitator. He is not good at that. Let that man score, right? Go get us buckets, right? Grimes, instead of thinking Grimes is the facilitator, like, oh, when Brunson get in his bag, man. Because listen, Jalen Brunson shot almost 48% from spot up threes. That is incredible, right? When Jalen Brunson plays off the ball and catch and shoot situations, when he catches the ball and shoots a 3, he shoots it at 47.6%. That's incredible, right? But who is going to facilitate? Is it Grimes? No, he's not a facilitator. You don't ask Doug Christie to create for Mike Bibby. That's what I'm getting at. When you have more clear defined roles, players can play to their strengths. Grimes is 43% on catch and shoot. Brunson is almost 48% on catch and shoot. Right?
You're oversimplifying it, Freezy. You really are. You're oversimplifying it. That's just not. This is basketball. This is jazz.
Oh, wait a minute. So I don't know. I don't understand basketball.
No, I didn't say that. I said this is basketball. This is jazz. It's just not. It's not just one thing. Is they've never, what I've seen so far, just with Brunson, they haven't asked him to be the traditional facilitator. That's not his role. That's not what they've asked him to do at no point in time. But is there times in the game, like any floor general, that you have to step back and get somebody off or whatever? Have I seen him do that throughout the year? Of course.
No, that's not totally true. They asked him to be that at the beginning of the season. But AD, these guys, when Brunson was trying to facilitate, these guys couldn't get open and they couldn't knock down shots. So instead of trying to create for them, he just started creating for himself.
Well, it was early, Freezy. To be fair, it was early. Him coming in new with these guys who had already been there. It was, outside of Hartenstein. They didn't really start getting cooking until guys started getting hurt.
Beginning of December, they got hot 1 night in a row.
Right. When guys started getting hurt and Tibbs refused to play anybody else but 8, and sometimes 8.5, because he wasn't playing a true 9. Because the night that Luka got 60 or whatever, they only played 8 guys.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? That's when he, was like, okay, I've got to forge through. Because his mid-December through February, all of February, are incredible. His numbers are bananas from there on in, because he kind of took over. And not to say nobody else wasn't getting shine, because Randall averaged 25 points for the year.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So even in his being more so of the modern point guard and aggressive, it's not like he was only getting his. Randall's second team All NBA with Brunson.
Right.
You could argue that this was his best season. This last season was his best season in the Knicks uniform, and that's with Brunson.
Right. I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is when Brunson and Randall, because remember, if I don't know if everybody remember this, but Randall started out the season averaging 18-8, right? 18-8. They were deferring to each other, trying to figure some stuff out. Cam Reddish was in and out of the lineup. Evan Fournier was in and out of the lineup. Derrick Rose was getting minutes. Tibbs couldn't figure out what it was. When Tom Thibodeau was like, yo, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to feature Randall and Brunson, and everybody else play within the flow of the game. And Knicks fans started crying. Oh my God, they played too much ISO ball. They weren't playing ISO ball, man.
No, they weren't.
They weren't playing ISO. They were trying to get others involved, but the others' developmental path was not at the same speed as Brunson and Randall.
Facts.
Right? And so when you because the Dallas game that you mentioned, I'm gonna tell you a key play while we wound up losing that game. We inbounded the ball in the open court to Quentin Grimes, and instead of Grimes, a guard, instead of Quentin Grimes grabbing the ball and being a guard and bringing the ball up the floor, he grabbed the ball and bent over when he saw the defense coming, and he fouled him. It was a hell ball. Dallas get the ball back. Luka go to the rim. A hell ball. Christian Wood winds up hitting a random three. We go down and miss. Tim Hardaway come down, hit a random three, right? If Grimes, a guard, just does guard stuff, that game doesn't get close. And now you're talking about a 48-win team as opposed to a 47-win team. Give you another case in point. First game of the season, we lose to Memphis in overtime when Jalen Brunson took the charge on John Morant in the closing seconds of regulation, right? Evan Fournier, the guy. Now, remember, there's context. Evan Fournier, the guy that set the Knicks three-point shooting record the year before that, right? Remember all summer? Don't get rid of Fournier. He set the Knicks all-time three-point record. That was the context, right? Evan Fournier missed 3 wide open looks for 3. One time to put the Knicks up by 1, he missed it, and 2 times to tie the game. Right? Coming down the stretch, Fournier was thinking he was going to get the ball. Jalen Brunson penetrates in the paint, kicks it out in the corner, not to Fournier, but to Cam Reddish in the deep corner, and Cam Reddish hits the 3 to send the game to overtime. Right? And we get to overtime and we can't score because Fournier, again, can't knock down these shots with the pressure on him. And all I'm saying is it's been games like that all season long and close games where the people outside of Brunson and Randall were inconsistent, spotty at best. Right? So when you're talking about when Tibbs was like, yo, we can't depend on these role players no more. I'm just gonna ride my horse. If I'm gonna get, because remember when we lost to Dallas and in the beginning of December, the game where the Mavericks beat us in the Garden and we didn't show up. You remember the Saturday afternoon game we played Dallas? The Knicks didn't even show up, right?
Right.
And we knew it. We know it on the weekends. 1 o'clock games on the weekends, you know the Knicks not showing up. They never show up with energy, right? They wiped the floor with us, right? Tibbs was like, yo, if I'm going to get fired, I'm going to get fired on my terms. We knew it because we were on Tibbs' watch, right? Cleveland coming. Remember, Cleveland was, I think, the number 2 seed in the East at the time, or number 3 seed in the East at the time, right? They come in the next day, And a lot of us believed if Tom Thibodeau would have lost that game, he would have been fired. We come out Tips come up, bring them out the next day. They beat Cleveland, right?
Right.
Then they go on to win 9 in a row. We don't lose again until after Christmas when we lose to the Chicago Bulls on a Friday night, right? And how we lose to the Chicago Bulls on a Friday night is the young players are playing through mistakes. Tibbs let them play through mistakes and we lose. If you remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, Knicks up by one, Chicago with the ball, under a minute left to go. It's DeMar DeRozan versus Quentin Grimes. DeMar DeRozan not only gets the basket, but it's an and one on Quentin Grimes. So what I'm saying to you is Grimes had to learn to go through that all his development and such. But if you remove Grimes there and add a veteran, in my belief, the outcome is different. And you build the momentum differently. And you go into the playoffs with a different energy and a different momentum. And while I'm not saying get rid of the kids. What I'm saying is, if you are gonna play these kids,
there are no kids.
Right.
They haven't drafted anybody in 2 years.
Right.
That whatever guy, they're not playing him. Obi's younger brother is not going to play. Everybody on this team would have had at least 3 years of NBA experience. There are no kids,
right,
my friend.
In your opinion, right? So my thing is this: if we remove that, like what you just said, if we use that, like what you just said, don't treat them like kids, treat them like veterans. Hey, bro, this is your job. I don't care about your handles. You are going to be Bruce Bowen, Doug Christie, Tony Allen. I don't care about your handles and what you can do in the pick and roll. No. You have a role to do, and you are going to do that role, or you are not going to be on the floor. Because people like AD are tired of waiting on kids to develop, right? What they want is one team to be on one timeline with one goal in mind, and that is take advantage of Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson's prime and chase the championship. I don't care that Quickly can shoot it from 30 feet. Quickly, you don't shoot it from 30 feet, right? What we're doing right now, Quickly, you come in here and you defend, you lock down other guards, right? I don't care if you're a pick and roll maestro, right? On that second unit, you lock down other teams' benches and keep the game close until we can get Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle back in the game. And I know what people are going to say. No, that's not how you do it. No, that's exactly how you do it, right? You don't see the Golden State Warriors out here featuring Jordan Poole over Steph Curry. Nah. You know, they like, oh, hold it down till Steph get back. And as Knicks fans, if we embrace one path or the other, because the thing is if you want to develop Quickly, RJ and Grimes and all them guys, then the second round ain't what you're shooting for. You just got to pick one or the other. Which way are you going? Do you want to win a chip? Do you want to take advantage of Jalen Brunson's prime? Because I'm here to tell you that when Jalen Brunson comes up for the bag in 2 years, nobody gives a shit about what Grimes want to do. Who cares? And when Jalen Brunson get ready to get that bag, bro, and you talk to him about hometown discount, he's like, what discount? Bro, I'm here to tell you, while everybody is on cheap contracts, you better chase it now. Because if you're talking about chasing championships after Randall get another contract and RJ Barrett is in the middle of his contract and Quickly extension kick in and Jalen Brunson comes up for an extension, you win now. And I'm here to tell you that if you want to win, you should be in win now mode right now if you want to win.
Okay, Freezy.
So you want to develop the kids?
No, it's not that. It's not. I don't. We don't have any kids. We just don't. We have a team of young to old to mid to prime veterans. We don't have any kids. Okay,
Right.
but I understand what you're saying and where you're going with this. But you just need. You can't have 7 guards. Their thing is they've added a piece and time will tell. See what I'm saying? It's like that DeBarge record. Time will tell. Right? Starts
Great
off
record,
slow and it's right there. You know, remember them?
Yeah.
I love that group, yo. DeBarge. Oh my God.
Baby. Yeah.
They were just,
All I
oh my God.
need is one
Mm-mm.
more chance.
Yep.
No, not. Oh, that's. Is that El DeBarge or DeBarge? That's DeBarge, right?
That's DeBarge.
Yeah.
Classics. They used to, God, they hammered out some big, one more chance.
Yeah.
That's from DeBarge.
Yeah.
All of those hits. They had so many, but to stay on topic, because you're driving me bananas here. They just need more, Uncle Freezy. There's no kids. They need more. They need better coaching.
They need more what?
They need more everything. They need more. They need better coaching in key areas. They need a center that can actually shoot. Okay? They need a center that can actually shoot the ball.
Right.
They need for iHeart. As much as I like iHeart, I would like to see iHeart take a bit more shots when he has that 15-footer.
Right.
See what I'm saying? The game is just different. This thing where you can just work hard.
Let me pause you right there. Pause you right there. First game of the season at Memphis, right? The paint collapses, right? The paint collapses because RJ takes off. You know what Hartenstein does? He sprints out of the paint and goes to the corner, right? Goes to the corner and gets his feet set. RJ throws up a brick, bump on him, right? And Hartenstein was like, bruh, I was wide open. Tibbs was like, yeah, he was wide open. When they coming back to the thing, yeah, he was wide open, right? So they come back, right? Same thing occurs. It's like 4 minutes later. They come back, same defense. So they run a set against that same defense. They get the same look. They kick it out to Hartenstein for 3. Hartenstein misses, right? And it's a soft miss. You know how everything looks good, except you wonder why it don't go in, right? Mm-hmm. They coming back to the sideline. RJ was like, yeah, man, I saw you. Oh, Tibbs was like, why'd you shoot that? So wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wait, about 4 minutes ago, what? So basically, I think I'm in a mindset of if Hartenstein shoots it, he better make it, or Tibbs is gonna be fussing. You ever seen the coach? They'd be like, no, good shot.
Yeah,
I think that's what Tibbs is with the Hartenstein thing. Because if you remember at the beginning of that season, Hartenstein shot 3s, right? Towards the season, as the season went on and on, Tibbs didn't allow these dudes to shoot 3s. Shoot, period. I think it's a Tom Thibodeau thing. To your point about the offense and all that stuff, if you're saying the bigs won't shoot because they can't, I don't know if that's the case with Hartenstein. If we're saying Tom Thibodeau is not allowing them to shoot, I think that might be the case.
Okay. Either or. You got, like I said, you got to be better, because the one thing that I knew would happen in the playoffs, and I don't think we talked about it leading up to the playoffs, I just didn't want to be that to drop that in the air, is that they would throw the zone at them.
Right.
The zone would come. At some point, the zone would come.
Right.
Okay? And when you can't attack the middle of the paint, because why? That's just not your philosophy. That's not what you do. And they know this, because you don't have someone that's, paint dominant or you don't have Randall trying to be, as you called him earlier, bully in the paint. Once the zone came,
you're spot on. Teams run zones to stop Brunson and Randall. Right.
Once the zone came, Mitch, useless.
Okay.
Didn't hear from him again. You didn't see zone all regular season. If you did, make here or there. Nobody was doing none of that.
Okay.
Till it came to the playoffs with Miami and so forth. Okay. What have you done to change that? What are you going to do? Some of the narratives I've heard that you're going to play RJ Moore at the 4.
Stop it.
Really? You're going to play Josh Hart at the 4. Really?
And you know what teams are going to do? They are going to go straight to pick and roll on, and pick and roll is not the end all be all. The pick and roll is like the screen game in the NFL passing game. Like when people will use pick and roll, they're like, man, we need to throw more screens like in NFL. Like, we need to run that halfback screen. We need to throw that tunnel screen, that bubble screen to keep the pass rush.
Right.
No, that's basically what it's akin to. You run it some, but it can't be the end all be all, right?
But that play can be devastating.
Yeah, at times when used properly.
When used properly, that play can be devastating.
Right.
But you're not those small guys at the 4. How?
Yeah. No.
That can't be.
No.
It's madness.
No. You're not doing that.
It's like when Houston traded away Quinn Capella just because they wanted to open the lane more for Harden and Westbrook.
Yeah, and that turned out to be a
disaster because PJ Tucker was not a 5.
Right.
Not a 4.
There is only a limit to how small you can go in the NBA. Right. There's limits to it, man. Because ultimately the NBA is a tall man, is a tall athlete's game.
In certain positions, in certain area, it just is what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Certain areas, it just is. It takes a tremendous effort at times for a smaller guy to defend a bigger guy. You remember in the playoffs when one year the Bulls threw Rodman on Shaq.
Right.
And he stopped him.
Right.
In the key parts, not the entire game. I believe it was somewhere like in the late 3rd, 4th or some period. They threw him on him, and his energy and how he played and so forth, it bothered Shaq enough to where it rendered him, they were able to chalk that up. That's not every day.
Right. But and it's simply put, what they did was put Rodman on him in the post to make Shaq work. And then they would bring their center over to double team.
Right.
As opposed to having the center get worked over in the paint and bringing over a shorter defender to double team. Right. It's what teams do nowadays. It's why certain guys look like defensive players of the year, while certain players look better than Mitch. Right. Like, I'll give you an example. Jaren Jackson Jr., right? What they'll do is have a smaller defender.
I've always liked him.
Play against Jaren Jackson's man, and then have Jaren Jackson, an elite athlete, play center field, guard everything else around the rim, around the painted area, everything with paint on it. That's his area, and then sprinting out on 3-point shooters, and that's why his rebounding numbers are low, because he's away from the rim. But at the same time, what you ask him to do defensively makes up for his lack of rebounding, right? It's what the Pistons did with Rasheed Wallace, where Rasheed Wallace was a shorter guy. He was stronger, to your Rodman thing. He was a shorter guy. He was more stout. Ben Wallace would slow down the opposing center, and Rasheed Wallace and Tayshaun Prince would come over and double team and be weak side rim protectors. And so that for those reasons, we have to consider the basketball part of things, right? It's like when we say that RJ and Josh Hart's going to play the 4. What's going to happen when we play Naz Reid and teams with a backup center? They're going to pull them out on a pick and roll and just have them out there. And now you got Josh Hart as your rim protector.
Yeah, I'm like, that can't be the narrative. But I've heard Tibbs say this, that, I'm like, all right, so RJ, you started out your career as the 2, and from the 2 to the 3, now from the 3 to the 4,
right,
and from the 4 out the door. That's basically where we're going with this. Because if they come to me, I'm like, yo, didn't I just get to the 3 2 years ago?
Right.
Now you're talking about 4? I'm 6.5.
Right.
When in the game does this give you a decisive advantage exactly?
Yeah. Right. How about this? Can RJ be effective at the 3?
I think he already is. Just not enough.
Yeah.
So far. I think he already is, just not enough so far. When I see his game, Freezy, and before, he just looks so stiff to me.
Right.
At times, the game does not come fluid for him.
He looks like Anthony Bonner to me. You remember Anthony
Bonner?
Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah. No,
I'll step up in the chest.
Yeah. I don't want to disrespect him like that, because Anthony Bonner could not shine his shoes offensively. But no,
we're talking about looks. We're talking about looks. We're not talking about production.
Right. It's just a stiffness to his game.
Right.
That for me, in areas where he should be better, like the 15 to 18 footer.
Right. I'm here to tell you, bro, if RJ Barrett adapted just a little bit of Adrian Dantley, I think RJ Barrett could be one heck of an offensive weapon.
He doesn't have that fluidity.
No, but I'm not talking about his scoring prowess. I'm talking about nuance. Like, bro, if you pump fake and a dude jump in the ceiling, let him jump in the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? You know they overly aggressive trying to block your shot because you can't jump. Adrian Dantley would pump fake. I saw Adrian Dantley pump fake like 17 times, or just, bro, and dudes keep jumping. And you tell them, yo, stay down on the floor. I can't help it, man.
It was a different game. Everybody at the game today, it's so direct. You see what I'm saying? It has lost a lot of its, improvisation.
Right.
You know what I mean? There is no white chocolate in the game.
Okay.
Steph Curry might have been the last type of player like that. The younger Steph Curry, I should say.
Right.
There is no,
He got a hole-in-one yesterday too, by the way.
Who, Steph?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
They like, Steph Curry is hitting shots from everywhere, bro. Even on the golf course, he hitting it from long distance.
Wow. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Talent. There is no. You remember that move that Jamal Crawford put on Heinrich? Like Crawford has a signature move where he does the hat. He does like kind of like the sham god, and he hops around you. He did that to Heinrich in a game like twice.
Right. There
is no that type of whoo. Did you see that?
Right.
The game has, it's more straightforward than that, because the moment a player goes into his bag a little bit, you know what someone says? Oh, isolation.
Isolation, yeah.
You have no idea what isolation is. Yeah. Isolation is 1-on-4.
Right. Right.
See? when the court is one guy over here and everybody goes over there and kind of waits. That's isolation.
Right. Yeah. ISO was what Iverson did to Chris Childs. I think it was like 97. Chris Childs fouled them hard in ISO, and AI ISO'd them like 3 straight times.
You're gonna miss that. You're gonna miss that. You know, that Iverson crossing up Jordan because what? It's ISO. No, it's a part of the basketball bag. It's what got that player to the league. What if Iverson got the ball right there, right, and just took a regular jump shot, right. Or better yet, passed it back out and went to spot up right there, spot up someplace else? That would not have been him. He's not a 3. He's not a 3-and-D wing. See what I'm saying? He gets that. He gets his moment, and he hears. If you see a clip, I think there's a clip on it on YouTube where you hear Phil Jackson calls out, "Mike."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And Jordan picks him up. And for those of you who don't remember, Michael Jordan was a tremendous one-on-one team defender.
Yeah.
With long arms,
right?
Big hands. Right. Even in that move when he crosses him, it's not like Mike is out of position. He just
all AI needed was a sliver of daylight. That's
it.
Needed.
A sliver of daylight. Right. Gets him back with that, and by the time he hit him on the second, he got that shot up.
Right.
But today it's it's isolation. But no. You got to let a player be a player within an offense, or else you stifle a player.
It's a part of that too is buzz phrases. That's part of the thing that I try to do away with on this channel. Like people will hear a buzz phrase and they'll carry it like a
run with
bag. Yeah, they'll hear pick and roll, and every answer to every question is always
pick and roll.
Yep. Or they'll hear or you'll hear they'll hear ISO one time. They're like, well, Randall ISO'd 82% of the time. No, he didn't. Yeah, man. Listen, man. You can go to NBA.com and do the research for yourself.
Because Freezy, it's what analytics brought to the game in all of sports. It's why I fell out of love with baseball.
It's why I fell out of love with the Jets, bro.
You would never love it. Yeah, no. You will be this year, buddy. I can help you out with that one.
The Bears are gonna go about 12-5 this year.
5-12, maybe. Be good. I mean, good.
Jets fans are crazy. A Jets fan told me that Curtis Martin is his favorite Jets running back, and I was like, "How old are you? 12?
You should be.
How old are you? 7?
He should be. Curtis Martin is the greatest running back in Jet
history. How do you like Curtis Martin over Freeman McNeil?
Are
you serious?
I'll take Curtis over Freeman McNeil.
How do you like?
Absolutely. Curtis is a Hall of Famer. Don't disrespect Curtis Martin.
Curtis Martin is a
Hall of Famer. Don't disrespect Curtis.
He's Craig Biggio.
That's fine. Craig Biggio has 3,000 hits. That's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking either one of them. Be Craig Biggio, bro.
That's fine.
And don't get me started about the Giants, bro.
He helped the Patriots get to a Super Bowl, not win it, and he helped the Jets get to an AFC championship.
Let me ask you this: have the Giants ever had a great running back?
Yes.
Let me start by asking.
Frank Gifford in his era was a great running back.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I give him credit.
In his era was a great running back.
Right.
Joe Morris for a 2-year span.
He was good.
Was a great running back. For 2 years is a great running back.
Yeah, he was good.
Rodney Hampton for about 5 years was a very good running back.
With no help.
No help. Tiki Barber was a tremendous running back. Tremendous running back.
He was all right, bro.
He's better than that.
The Jets running back history by far blew them out of the water. It's not even close.
I don't think by far. I think we.
Yeah. Let me throw 3 names at you.
Okay.
John Riggins.
Yeah, back
Freeman
in the 60s,
McNeil.
they remember. Good, not great.
Curtis Martin.
Great. Very good. Not great. Very good.
Right. No Giant running back in my mind is even close to those three.
No, Tiki Barbers.
And we're not even talking about the random Thomas Jones, Emerson Boozer,
Thomas Jones. Thomas Jones has the two best combined rushing yards and touchdowns in Jet history.
Right.
I think he rushed like 27 touchdowns in 2 years and about 2,500 yards in rushing.
Right. Yeah. What I'm saying. Yeah. When it comes to
you're not a Jet fan. Why am I having this kind of conversation?
No. Listen. Look, I know we're gonna wrap up in a second, bro. I know we're gonna
because you're bored. You've given the people I'm gonna tell you something. If you think you're going to come back on here next Sunday and sermonize us again and tell us how displeased we are and this pathway part 2 to wherever, it's not going to happen, sir. We deserve better as Knicks fans.
Yeah, let me finish though.
Okay,
who had the better quarterbacks in NFL history, Jets or Giants?
Jets. We got Broadway Joe, baby.
Who had the better receivers in NFL history, Jets or Giants? Jets.
You're gonna ask me, I'm gonna say Jets. You're gonna ask me, I'm biased.
The Giants have never had an Altoon. You remember Altoon?
Of course I remember. I mean, Giants.
You remember Wesley Walker?
Yeah. I remember them quite well. I'm a Jet fan. Why are we having this conversation?
Right. You remember Brandon Marshall?
No, I do not.
You know Brandon Marshall played for both teams.
Yes, I know. And he sucked for the Giants. And he had one decent year with the Jets. And that's that.
And I just want to ask you this just really quick. The better defenses, the Giants or the Giants?
The Giants.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say for a 3-year stretch.
They won a Super Bowl with that defense, Freezy.
Right.
They won Super Bowls based on their defense, Freezy.
Right.
At least with the Parcells based. No, all of their Super Bowls is based, but they had good defenses. You know, they shut down the Patriots, that team that was like what 17-1?
17-0.
17-0, right?
Yeah, remember they didn't lose. They didn't lose, so they got to the Giants.
This is one of the things I always want to tell Tom Brady fans. Going into that Super Bowl game, when he was asked by a group of reporters told by a group of reporters that what's my guy that shot himself with the Jets? Plexico Burress had said that I think it was Plexico that the Patriots would not score 17 points. Tom Brady said, "Huh? We'll see about that."
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom.
So I'm not saying that the Jets are a better franchise. I'm not saying that the Jets are a better franchise. What I'm saying is, outside of the linebacker position, I think the Jets just had more talent overall in history.
No.
Outside of the linebacker position, who had the better safeties?
The
Jets.
Giants had good. They're not. Neither team is great safety wise.
Who had better?
No,
corners?
they had good. Well, we got Revis, baby.
Right.
You got Revis, baby.
Outside of one position, linebacker.
We got Revis. No, but it's more than that. It's more than that. That's not football, Freezy. You can never look at football or any team sport like that.
The only thing that's
why we don't win championships.
The Giants generally have a really good kicker. Like a dude that looked like he's selling insurance Tuesday through Thursday.
Cannot. I tend to shit on the Giants because I don't root for them. But as a football fan, and to be fair about it, over the years they were just better run than the Jets.
But I'm not asking that though. I'm talking about players.
But in order to be better, you're only run by the players that you get. The Jets had players, loser mentality players.
Right, but that's not what I'm talking. I'm just talking about on-field talent, bro.
On-field talent. Do you remember a guy named Johnny Mitchell? A tight end we had named Johnny Mitchell. The Jets and the Giants, I believe it was in 89, both drafted tight ends. They drafted Derek Brown from out of Notre Dame, and the Jets drafted Johnny Mitchell from out of Nebraska, I think. I think he went to Nebraska.
Yeah.
They're the two biggest draft busts. They're like, if you look at those NFL draft bust things of like year to year, whatever, they're like both of them. I don't think Derek Brown has any Giant footage at all.
Let me rewind just a little bit, right? Because at the time that you're talking, Mark Bavaro had just left to go play for Cleveland, but they had the tight end.
They cut him because he couldn't. Well, not Cleveland. Well, Cleveland eventually cut him, but the Giants had cut him because he couldn't play anymore.
Right. So the Giants had a backup tight end that had been pushing him, the big tight end out of Alabama, the dude Howard Cross. You remember Howard Cross?
Right. Howard Cross was a good tight end. Yeah, he was solid.
Yeah, he was solid. And the Giants wanted to infuse talent into their offense, and they drafted the running back out of Michigan. Was he out of Jarrett Bunch? Was he out of Michigan?
Right, Gerard Bunch from out of Michigan. Yeah.
And at the same time, the Jets were trying to improve their defense. I think
they weren't trying to do anything. They knew what the hell they were doing.
Yeah,
they still had Kenny O'Brien. That they had drafted Browning, Nagel. They missed out on Favre.
Pat Ryan. Don't forget Pat Ryan.
Yep. Well, Pat Ryan leaves in about like 80. I want to say
87.
No, he left at about 90 because he was back up for a minute.
Yeah, he was back up for
because back then your backup, backup was backup for like 5 to 6 years. That would be like the backup. Every time he came to camp, that'd be his job.
That's his job. Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't like today, like year in year out. You don't know who your backup is. Nah,
because quarterbacks don't get hit now, so you don't have to value them.
No, they don't. Not like back then. I remember that game. If you remember a game with you should know this. You're a Chicago fan. What's the cat with Green Bay? He picks up McMahon as McMahon is running to the sideline and drops him on his shoulder. Yeah. And this is what, the 88 season or the 84 season? Because 87 is the strike.
Yeah. 86 and in comes Harbaugh or Mike Tomczak.
Right. 86 the Giant wins. 85 that's right. So this is like 88, 89, and McMahon is done for the year. You could never do that to a quarterback now.
Right. Did you
never?
Just really quick, y'all. I always we have like the funniest thing you ever heard, right? The Bears are playing the Minnesota Vikings, and the Minnesota Vikings had got beat up the week before by like the Philadelphia Eagles or somebody crazy. Anyway, they had like a death row of defenses. I think they played like the Giants, the Saints, the Eagles, and then they were playing the Bears, right? And so you're talking about like you talking about like the Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Then you're talking about the Gang Green defense, and then you talk about the Dome Patrol, and then you get a week off by taking on like the 85 Bears, right? No lie, the quarterback, I think his name was Tommy Kramer. Tommy Kramer snaps the ball and drops back and faints before he get hit. It's the funniest. You ain't never seen.
That's Minnesota. Minnesota. Right.
Yeah. The dude, number 4, he legit gets the snap, and he gets back, and he had been getting hit so much all the weeks leading. Big Blue, Dome Patrol, Gang Green, and then now he playing again. Now he playing the 85 Bears defense. He drops back. He looks downfield.
Football is a vicious game,
and he faints, bro. Like he legit just falls down and lays out spread eagle. And they legit have to go scrape him off of the mat, off the ground. And they were like, yo, what's going on? And he was like, "Yo, I just saw death flash before my eyes." And
Yeah.
they bring in the other guy. They bring in, so one is Tommy Kramer, and then they bring in the other guy. I forget his name, but he was a starter too. They bring him in, and he got the snap, and he just took off running before the play was even set. And so the Bears knock him out of the game also, and they're down to their third string quarterback, bro. The third string quarterback, and if he got hurt, they wouldn't have a quarterback, right? So Richard Dent nails him in the back off a fake blitz. Like we faking the blitz off one side, they slide coverage. Richard Dent get a running start, hit him in the back. Right? The dude gets up. It with his, you know how the quarterbacks used to have their helmets on, like the fighter pilot, chin strap all unbuckled and all this stuff. Like, I ain't going back in there. The coaches them have to tell, no, go. We don't have nobody else. You got to take this beating. I remember the Jets did that to a quarterback named Brian Sipe with the Cleveland Browns.
Brian Sipe, wow.
The Jets legit. They had a black dude on their defensive line. I can't forget his name. Is it Amir Abdullah?
Yeah,
or something like that.
But I think that might be a little bit past. No, Abdullah was on the team at that point.
Yeah.
No, it's like not Abdullah's. Salam.
Abdullah Salam.
Yeah, it's Rashid Salam. I can't remember his first name, but he was a part of the sack exchange. Salam, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Said all of that to say that the Knicks are going to win a championship.
I'm just not there with you, Freezy, and you have ruined an old school Sunday with your sermon and your pathway about the Knicks. I just can't. You're not gonna do this to me. You know what I mean? You're not. You and the rest. No. I need more. I'm not into the. We're not
giving you more, bro.
No, then you're not winning the championship.
Yeah.
Because for me, Freezy, when I hear sports analogies that says, this is chess, not checkers.
Oh my God.
Go take that somewhere else.
Oh yeah, I don't want to. Yeah.
I don't want to hear that bullshit.
I don't want to hear them. People be using buzzwords all the time like that means something.
I
don't care.
I don't got time. I don't want to hear all of that.
Yeah, but the reason why I said that though is building a case for picking one direction and going. I'm telling you, AD, the Knicks have to stop spinning their tires. That's what I'm saying. Pick one direction and go. Either all vets or all kids.
Well, I saw a Boston team bring along Rondo with Corvettes. So I'm not going to say that you have to get rid of all of your young, you know what I mean? But you need to.
Who else on that roster was young?
I think it was, Rondo was at
They traded away all they could to get Kevin Garnett.
Right. And they
traded Jeff to get Ray Allen.
No, what I'm saying is you can still, have one or two. It depending on what.
Most teams do that though.
Right. Right. I'm saying, but so I get what you're saying. You're not being literal with it. You're not being totally literal with it. Right. But they're not. Freezy, they let two. This is the thing where, just to add on to your point, which I don't understand. You let two drafts go by,
right,
and you don't do anything significant with all of these picks that you have. Right. So that tells me, one, you didn't really value the guys coming out these last 2 years that everybody was going crazy about. Right? One. So then why are you stockpiling all of these picks? Yeah. What was the big deal for you not trading for Donovan last summer at this time? The narrative was they wanted too many picks, blah, 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 blah. They don't care about these damn picks.
Nobody. And these picks aren't attractive, bro. Talking about these Secret Service picks. These picks got so much protections on. They like protecting Joe Biden, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
2 years in a row, they didn't see anybody that they really thought was something that they were gonna risk and go into the draft for.
And you know what else, AD? Here's the kicker. And if you're a Knicks fan, you better embrace for this conversation. Jalen Brunson is not guaranteed to resign.
No, he's not. No, he's not. I'm glad you went there. No, he is not.
Because if you talk about wasting that man prime, do you think that man's gonna sit here and let you waste his prime?
I mean, he'd be walking away from a hell of a bag.
Right. But
he'd be walking away from a hell of a bag. But the way how the NBA goes now, Freezy, they sign the bag and they force their way out.
Right.
That's today's NBA.
Right. So, and you don't know, and that's today's NBA, right? But you don't know what the NBA is going to be like in 2 years, because the NBA changes about every 3 years. You see some type of turnover, right? Every 3 years, you see some type of some type of shift, right? So, but anyway, I got to get out of here, man.
All right, sir. Before we roll
boss.
Out, thanks to the people for rocking out with us once again. We don't know where this journey started, but we know where it ended. It ended with you yet again, Freezy. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Garvey, look for us in the whirlwind.
Peace.